Hello, this is Brian Foster on Kardec Radio, presenting the program Spiritism and the Spirit World Around Us. Hello, everybody, on September 23rd on Sunday. Welcome to our program. We have every Sunday night, starts at 4 o'clock. We started a couple minutes late today. We are here to present Spiritism, and Spiritism, of course, comes from Allan Kardec, who is the codifier of Spiritism. What a wonderful man he was. He took information from high spirits. He created a list of questions for mediums throughout Europe. Oh, there's Rosalind. Hello, Rosalind. Welcome to the program. He took information from mediums across Europe. He asked the same question to different mediums. He didn't tell mediums he asked other mediums the same question. And he only codified the book from answers from high spirits if he had the same type of answers from different mediums. And of course, from there, from the 1850s, it went on, and we have more information, more transmissions from high spirits, from such as Leon Denis, Chico Xavier, Yvonne Pierre, all just wonderful spiritist authors. And what I have done, what I've made my quest in my life, is to take information from all these spiritist authors and create information for those. I have a blog, nwspiritism.com. I have a YouTube channel, a BitChute channel, which I recommend everybody to go to my blog at nwspiritism.com and subscribe to that BitChute channel and YouTube channel, where I post videos from here, from my live streaming on Facebook, plus 5 to 10 minute videos on different aspects of Spiritism. Why are we interested in Spiritism? Because Spiritism answers the fundamental questions. Other religions are wonderful. They tell you how to live, and they really show that you need love in your heart, and those are all great. Spiritism does the next thing. It gives us really actionable information about the spirit world. Allan Kardec codified Spiritism in the 1850s because the spirit world said, okay, you're ready to go to the next level. Spiritism is called the third revelation after Moses, then Jesus, and now Spiritism. It's telling us more about heaven. It tells us how heaven is organized. It tells us why exactly we are here. It tells us that we live predetermined lives. Now, why am I saying this? Because I have been individually affected. I have been told that I have had, in the past, I was told things were going to happen. I didn't believe them. And gosh, what? They happen. It tells me, if that's the case, there must be some higher level force out there beyond us simple, innocent type, not so innocent type, humans here on Earth. It's very exciting. I can't tell you how exciting it is to know and learn about Spiritism. So what I have done, if you go to my website, you'll see I have lots of books. I have in books behind me, I have a series of 3 books, Heaven and Below, Spirit and the Spirit World, How Spirit Guides Us, telling all the information that was brought to us by the wonderful medium, the Reverend G. Vallon, in the early 1900s. Plus, I have Explore Your Destiny, all sorts of other books explaining each little different parts of Spiritism. So what I've done is I've tried to take central themes and then say what the spirits told us, and then expand upon those themes. Oh, hello, Eliza. Hello. So, and that's why I'm here talking to you. Now, what I'm talking tonight is a chapter called, from my book, How to Live. And the chapter is called The Serene Conscience. Now, in this, and I did chapter 1 last week, but in this is the fact is that there's a poem from Andre Luis. He sent that to Chico Xavier. And each line, a very short poem, 24 stanzas, and this is line 2, A Serene Conscience. These are things we need to achieve as we try to ascend spiritually. Why are we here? Because we are here to ascend spiritually. We are here to become a better person. We're not here to accumulate wealth. I know it sounds amazing to people. We're not here to lord it over people. We're not here to be mean. No, we are here to help other people. We are here to really help ourselves. We're not here to be intellectual giants, because that could be a lot more limited. We're actually more intellectual in the spirit world mostly than we are here. It could be exceptions to that. We are here to change and alter our characteristics, our personality, to get rid of the primitive emotions, hate, envy, jealousy, selfishness, which, we all have all those things. We just got to start replacing them with, faith, charity, caring, and love, right? And the more we get rid of those, this is why I wrote this book, How to Live. The more we get rid of those, I tell you, the less stress-free we are. Less stressful, I should say, not stress-free. The less stressful we are, because why are we stressed? We're most always stressed because we ignore our conscience. This is why this is number 2, the second line in the poem, A Serene Conscience. Because nothing is more important in learning to live well and happy and stress-free than to follow our conscience. I cannot emphasize that enough. It is so simple to say and so hard to do. And I know it's hard because it's hard for me. I'm sure for other people, it's been much easier. For me, it's been, I spent most of my life rationalizing away why I shouldn't listen to my conscience. Don't we all do that at one time or another? So we have to recognize that spirit world gave us a gift. Our conscience is one of the gifts we are given that ties us back to our previous lives. At its simplest, our conscience is the set of divine laws. Each human and human-like soul on whatever planet in the universe contains the same collection of universal behavior. Now, starting with the primitive human existence, we have this in our minds, right? So while we are ensconced on our primitive planet, which Earth was before what it is now, it's a planet of atonement, right? So we are a planet of atonement where we're here on Earth to pay for our past wrongs and to also, not all our trials are to pay for past wrongs. Some of them are just to broaden our horizon. We have to look at Earth like a campus, right? We're being remediated in lessons we didn't learn before, which is a lot, but we're also given new lessons. So karma isn't all, when people call karma, oh, this has happened because of karma. Well, yes, it could have, but also you'll just be given new experiences too. One life you may be a prince or princess, another life you may be a beggar or a slave. All things to round out what you see of all different aspects. And also, in effect, oh, good old Barry's here. Oh, hi, Barry. In effect, is what happened is we're given a well-rounded personality. What's interesting is in past lives, people, when they talk about past lives, they always say that he or she was some important, a king or a queen. And in actuality, we really don't want to be that, because the more power we have, the more ability we have to do bad and act in bad ways. That's why Spiritism tells us the hardest trial is to be rich. And I know a lot of people think, oh, I wish I had that trial. But just think about it. If you're rich and you really take advantage, or you got rich by nefarious means, there's going to be quite a few lives, or maybe one main life, that you're going to have to unlearn some of those things and repair the damage you did. So that's why, in order to really know how to live, we really need a serene conscience. And as we mature as souls and live in a more civilized era, we acquire techniques to rationalize away whatever good advice we receive, and instead focus our energies on accumulating immediate satisfaction. Isn't this the culture we live in now? It's buy, accumulate. It's that, what's the old saying on the back of bumper stickers? He who has the most toys when they die wins. Well, unfortunately, no, it's not true. He or she who has the most advanced and ability to improve themselves in spirituality, they are the ones that are victorious. So our conscience. So like a lawyer who's been in the profession for many years, building up a law library with cases, examining each small detail and meaning of the law, as we mature, we too gather judgments on many shades of gray in which to translate each episode. We gain wisdom after numerous lives on how to detect right from wrong and how to react in any given situation. Now, when I say this is what I'm talking about, when people say, how come I'm on Earth and how can I learn what I need to learn if I can't remember anything? Well, that's not true. You have your conscience. You also have your instincts. But your conscience is building up. That's why primitive souls, you see these people do crimes, and you think, well, how could they do that? Well, because they are a primitive spirit. They are just here probably on, after a few lives from a primitive planet. And, they have been raised to just take what they want, right? And then smash what they want. And as life after life, they will learn. That's why you have to love everyone. Doesn't mean you can't punish them or they shouldn't be in prison. That's another lesson for them they may need, but you don't have to hate them because you just know that they are just starting off on their arc of learning to be a good, perfect. We are all on the arc to become a pure spirit. So we gain wisdom after numerous lives on how to detect right from wrong and how to react in any given situation. We know in our minds what is correct, but we still haven't subjected ourselves to the discipline to act upon our knowledge in circumstances which could lead to our momentary discomfort. To fully possess the willpower to actually listen and act upon your conscience takes a readjustment of your character and attitude. In the book, Times of Health and Conscientiousness by the spirit Joanna de Angelis, psychographed by Divaldo Franco, she introduces us to the types of humans in society. Now, this is what she says. She's just, she goes things just so in depth. And the books created by Divaldo Franco, I will not lie to you. They are dense reading. You really have to read them a couple times. And I think this is where it's good in this whole how to live. I've taken a lot of the stuff that I think are pertinent because she is just so smart. It's just amazing. Anyway, so this is what she says about the different types of humans. Careful studies of human behavior has shown that there are three biotypes representative of individuals in society. The first biotype can be termed as codependent. It is made up of the conditioned individuals, that is, those who set their goals according to circumstances other than their wishes. They do not experience the personal satisfaction that comes from striving for self-realization. Their aspirations are based on other people's possibilities, on circumstances, and they claim that they can only be happy if they are loved, if they take this trip or have that job, etc. Their lack of self-confidence disrupts their health. They are often susceptible to cancer, and they have a higher death rate than the other two biotypes. Okay, let me stop there for a second. Haven't we all known people like that? They have to be, they have to be part of their group. They have to get this attainment, right? Or they have to, they have to go and visit this place, and they're the types that will take pictures of their food and just show everything they've done as far as being high on the material, because they have to be part of society no matter what. They don't want to go away from the group. We all know that. We're all part of that too, right? We all have, I think, aspects of any of these three in this at any one time. Now, I'll go on with her quote. The second biotype is made up of disgruntled individuals, those who are angry about life, those who are against it. They are unstable and irritable by nature, self-destructive, and live under the constant constriction of irascibility. They say they feel unfulfilled, and nothing goes right for them. Hence, they take it out on themselves, everyone and everyone else. They are easy prey to nervous disorders that chafe and make them even more miserable, casting them into the dungeons of exaltation, depression, and direct or indirect suicide. Among these are despots, warriors, and criminals. How interesting. Don't we all know people like that too? And don't we all kind of show that sometimes, where we are sometimes irritable and self-destructive, right? So, yeah, very interesting though. Despots, warriors, and criminals. How interesting that is. Now, the third group, this is what she says, consists of well-adjusted individuals, those who are self-realized, calm, and confident. There are not very many of them, of course, and they differ greatly from members of the other two groups. These are well-adjusted people or candidates for success in the activities to which they dedicate themselves. They are pleasant, sociable, and encouraging. Their endeavors are positives and always aimed at the common good, the progress of all. Their leadership is enriching, creative, and dignified. This group produces promoters of social development, examples of sacrifice, creative geniuses, seekers of the truth. So, what is she telling us? Well, first, a person is not born into one group or the other. Their upbringing, their maturation, the effects of their past lives, and their dedication to see themselves truthfully determine what type they are. And no one is locked into one category or the other. Each has the ability to grow to be a well-adjusted individual. I believe I've been, especially in my youth, codependent, and and for a long time where I wanted to be part of the group. I thought that this thing would help me, and I've also been the irascible group, but probably not so much as that. But I know I've certainly been in the codependent group, and that's been a lot of my stress. Right, is where I want that thing, and then what I've done when I want something, I will cut corners with my conscience. Right, morally, I'll cut corners. As an example, I wanted to be promoted, right? I was working and I wanted to be promoted. How do you get promoted? Well, you act like the other people who are above you. How do other people act? Well, unfortunately, most of the time on this planet is you get ahead by taking whatever the upper management, and you feed that garbage down below to other people. You lie to them, you work them to death, you make as much money as you can from them, and you fire them if you're told fire. I've been told this. You got to fire 10% of your people. It doesn't make a difference if you only have 8 people and all of them are great. Nope, you got to find one and fire them. Believe me, that's stressful. And I did that because I wanted, and I in my conscience, well, I got to make more money. I need to make more money. Well, I found, finally I learned I didn't need to make more money. I finally gave up. I said, no, I'm not going to be a supervisor. I'm just going to be an individual contributor, and I'll just be a failure in life, but I'll be less stress. Happy failure, according to some people, right? Failure is if you don't earn enough money. That's what I decided to be, because I could not do that to people in order to achieve and go up in the corporate level. Now, that doesn't mean everybody. There are people who have risen who are really good people. I believe, and people, you can tell me, I believe they are in the minority, probably the vast minority, but there are some who have done it through their own pure intellect and power. And God bless all of them who have done that. I did not have that ability. So, as I said, we all have the ability to go from one category to another. Those are the choices we make. And what's funny about this, in our lives, this is the trials we go through. These are why we have predetermined trials, so we can make those choices. I couldn't make the choices, I'm just going to, just keep, just treating other people like junk, and then squeezing blood from that stone, and and I will go up and up, and I will just act just like those people above me, and I'll be part of that group, and I'll make a bunch of money. That was a choice I could have had, and fortunately I started to learn, no, I can't do that. I cannot tell you the stress I was in. I would come home and my stomach would just tighten up, and I would have to get, some sort of, tranquilizer or something to make me relax. Now, having to do that means that your stress level is so high. That's why my book, How to Live Inner Peace Through Spiritism. Why this book? If you can follow the courses on the poem of Henri Louis, your stress levels, your headaches, your health will be so much better. They've actually done studies where the individuals who are spiritual, not just religious or but people who are spiritual, have much better health and they're less stressed. So the central theme of a serene conscience is that a well-adjusted person has the capacity to achieve a serene conscience. A codependent individual is unable to listen to their own set of rules. They are a slave to the rules imposed upon them. They follow the herd and find it difficult to pull away. We all do that, but we have to try. Leaving the rest of the group implies ostracism and withholding of the pleasures and comfort of group think. These people must first establish faith in themselves and not look for confirmation from the outside. While a disgruntled individual constantly thinks others to blame, they are handicapped to the path of self-actualization until they examine their own actions, morality, and character. Not easy, but it certainly can be done. So in this book, How to Live, I take what the verse is and I take, okay, what I think it means, right? And then I take, okay, how have high spirits told us how to achieve that? How are we supposed to achieve a serene conscience? Not something you just sit down and say, okay, I have a serene conscience, I'm done. Oh, it's really, I tell you, this is what Spiritism has told us. This is like one of the basic sense of Spiritism is we really must start rewiring our brain. And that is hard, but it takes repetitive action all the time. So therefore, the first step toward a serene conscience is to have the confidence to actually listen to and obey your conscience. By doing so, you'll be swimming against the tide, right? You shall meet people who will actively attempt to steer you off the road to the light. The spirit Joanna de Angelis tells us the damage that may occur when we don't follow our conscience. Now, let me know, and I've had this, but let me know what you think if you've had this. This is what she says. Among all the inner scourges that torment humans, producing unnameable afflictions, the guilty conscience stands out. It insidiously takes root, and like an acid, it corrodes the gears of the emotions, fostering the eruptions of maddening inner conflicts. Arriving from psychological insecurity and judging one's own actions, a guilty conscience opens an abyss between what has been done and what should not have been done, cruelly flogging those who suffer its dogged persecution. Due to their own weaknesses, individuals allow themselves incorrect behaviors that appeal to their sensations. But as soon as they cease, they surrender to self-punitive regret, trying to correct their foolishness and begin immediately assailed by a guilty conscience. Perversely, it punishes the offender inwardly, but it does not alter the course of the action's consequences, nor does it make things right with the injured party. On the contrary, despite being an unforgiving creditor, it unconsciously arouses new desires, repeated behavior, and other increasing punishment. Self-punishment is an atavism of hypocritical religious, moral, and social behaviors, which do not hesitate to make the wrong recommendation. Thus, it must be eliminated thoroughly and immediately. There's so much to this, what Joanna says. We do wrong. Oh, we hate ourselves. We punish ourselves inwardly. But then as we punish inwardly, we start making everyone else punished, right? We become hypocritical. We say, oh, we should all do this because this is what I did wrong, and this is how I'm going to make amends, and everyone else has to make amends. We see this behavior all the time. And so when one goes against one's conscience, it often results in more than just a single wrong to atone for. It sparks a reaction of events that further deteriorates further progress. Joanna lays out the downward progression, and she does it really well. First, we feel bad. We regret what we did, but we don't rectify our transgressions against the innocent party. That would entail embarrassment and loss of face. Instead of going there and apologizing to that person, oh, I should never have done that, I'm sorry. Instead, we agonize over our mistake and increase our stress. We look ways for atone, mostly by hurting ourselves in some manner, as if self-harm does anything for the person we maltreated. That's why she's telling us. Punishing yourself doesn't do any good. Start doing good. Don't punish yourself. That means nothing. God doesn't punish it. God gives us lessons to learn. We may look at them as punishments, just like children look at, when, their mother or father says, go make your bedroom. That's a punishment. No, it's a lesson. So punishing ourselves for transgression does nothing to solve the problem. Constantly looking back and agonizing over the wrongs we may have made doesn't remove the karma that must be paid or help to remove the defect that allowed the error in the first place. Only introspection and a hard desire to never make that mistake again leads to the higher path. Joanna spells out what our action plan should be when we feel we have committed a wrongful deed. This is what she says. And this is you should take to heart. You cannot prevent or avoid what you've already done. Once the arrow is released, it follows its trajectory. Therefore, determine the effects and rectify them when negative. If your action was reproachable, take measures to correct it as soon as you can. If your attitude or the result of a personal conflict does not correspond to what you believe or who you are, practice balance and stay vigilant. Weak are all who consider themselves weak, but do not put forth the effort to become strong. If you excuse your mistake with self-punishment in order to appease the guilt, you will soon make it again. Look at life as it is and your circumstances as they are. Now that is great advice, right? And it's hard because we all think about things we did and, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And well, we have to start learning to say, okay, that's what I did. That's over. I need not to do it again. I tell you, sometimes I think I'm doing well, right? And I think, okay, I'm getting better. And then I'll be sitting in a chair, and then all of a sudden, my dog will like bark, and you know how they bark, and and I go, and I just whack, and I go, oh, gee, boy, that's just another test I failed. Me, why? I should have just been, be startled and not lash out and hit the poor dog. I mean, I should not have done that. So it's again, these little things we just look at those as tests. And sometimes we just have to kind of laugh and go, oh no, I can't believe I did that, and say, oh, I'll try not to do it again. And I'm better now. I don't do it, right? I haven't done it for a while. It doesn't mean I won't do it again, but I've gotten better, right? When I'm surprised, right? When I walk to work, and it used to be when I would see, the poor homeless people, I go, oh God, get that bum, idiot. And now I try it, and this is taking years. I go, oh, that poor guy, and I say in my mind, God bless you. I know you're going through a hard trial. I hope things get better for you. It doesn't, those are things. That's how you start rewiring your brain. And that's why the Spirit Joanna tells us to replace the negative thoughts with positive thoughts, and how to serve others, how to improve yourself, or provide support for a family member or a friend. More importantly, take yourself out of the spotlight and think what you can do to make a difference in the lives of those around you. And it's love, right? But sometimes it's also tough love. Sometimes it's saying no. We have this, a cousin of ours, a young boy, like 10 years old, and he wants a bike, and he comes, his family's poor. That's okay. You can have a bike, but you've got to learn your multiplication, and you got to do well at school. And I want to see your report card, and I'll buy you a bike. He thought about it. Oh, okay. Then the next day he goes, no, I don't want to do it. I said, okay, you're not getting a bike. Of course, then the next day he goes, well, maybe I will. So, I mean, this is tough. This is tough love. If I just gave him a bike for nothing, what would he learn? He got a bike. All he did is ask for it. He has to learn that studying is important, right? Work is important. So those are things. Sometimes it's tough love. These nurturing emanations from your brain, when you're thinking positive and you're trying to help people, even though sometimes it's tough even for you, serve to ward off others who are looking for validation of their own negative emotions, and reinforce wiring your head to look for the light instead of the dark. When trouble occurs, think of others, not yourself. Calmly review the steps to solve the problem with honor and fairness. Whatever the price you pay, afterwards you will feel you have not only survived the episode, but grown because of it. So, serenity. So, what is serenity? Now, we talked about conscience. We talked about what conscience is. Now, let's talk about serenity. And this is what we are told. Serenity is a cornerstone of the moral and spiritual constructs of the human being. Without serenity, accomplishments become very difficult. It results from right conduct and an equitable consciousness, both of which provide a realistic view of events and foster the identification of the goals in a life worthy of the valuable investments of bodily existence. In the frantic pursuit of pleasure, cultural treasures are wasted and are made servants of the lower perturbing passions with negative consequences. The more one enjoys pleasure, the greater the need to experience even more of it in order to renew the sensations that masquerade as emotions. Serenity is a state of concurrence between duty and right, which harmonize for the individual's benefit. Nothing more true. And you see that as a quick thing. You see that in drug users, right? They take a drug, let's say take cocaine. And what they say about cocaine is you never get the pleasure you got from that first time. You got to take more and more and more of it in your downward spiral. And that goes with anything that we find too pleasurable, right? So this is why serenity is the state of concurrence between duty and right. It doesn't mean you can't have some pleasure. It doesn't mean that, everything in moderation, as the ancient Greeks used to say. It's just, again, this is what Joanna Douglas tells us. In a few words, she describes a complex process and a noble goal. And to fully comprehend the benefits of serenity, we must ask, what is it like to live without serenity? Because sometimes you have to see the negative to know the positive. Well, for that answer, we all know the answer, for we've all lived without it. Unfortunately, most of us live our entire lives submerged in stress and disharmony. Life is a constant flow of looking back in regret and anger, desire for revenge against those who wrong you, and dreaming of escaping your current circumstances. It is a state of hopefulness that things will get better if you can achieve that certain job or object of your desire. It is a feeling of uneasiness interspersed with a few moments of happiness or ecstasy, which are always fleeting. It is never having enough. I read a very revealing study about money. It surveyed what level of wealth people thought would make them secure and happy. The consistent answer was 25% more. It didn't make a difference what level of capital they had or how much money they made. The majority of respondents believed that if they could just get that 25% more, they would achieve their goal. They would be happy. Isn't that interesting? And it's so revealing about us as humans. Living with a desire for material wealth and the unremitting wish to gain more is like the donkey chasing the carrot held over its head with a stick. The poor animal will never get there, and we humans will never reach a state of happiness because that little bit more will always be beyond our grasp. One sees this all the time. How many of us has looked at a successful person who has, according to our desires, plenty of money in the bank? They could leave the career at any time. After all, if we had that kind of money, we would quit tomorrow and retire to a beach house. But would we? Or would we be caught in the same trap? Think. If we suddenly found that pile of riches, our attitude would change, and then we would ratchet up our yearning for that next level of lifestyle. A house on the beach wouldn't suffice. We would need a yacht too, and a crew, of course. That's what the absence of serenity gives you. Once your life is defined by craving for more goods, it is hard to turn it off. It becomes the central theme in your life. Everything you do revolves or intersects with accumulating more. The status of your spiritual state becomes a remote afterthought. There's never any time to devote to other pursuits. So, how do we do this? How do we turn off looking for more? What happens when you end the longing for more and drop your thoughts of righting the wrongs done to you by others? How would you feel if you were content with what you have? How relaxed would you be knowing that you are at peace with all of your colleagues, acquaintances, and family? Most of us would think, I would love it, but certain events must occur and certain people must apologize first. We would love that state, but it must be on our terms. Well, no, it doesn't. It only takes an alteration of your mindset. Spiritism tells us that we are all on this planet to learn. Some of us are more or less mature souls than others. Hence, for a certain portion of the population, they take what they can get and have no immediate regrets. They are immature souls, as I talked about earlier. They steal, they rob, they seek revenge, they plot, they spread misery and chaos wherever they reside. There is a long road of difficult lives ahead for this group. Others are higher in the ladder of controlling themselves, but still lacking internalizing the golden rule. They are trying, they feel guilty when they know they did wrong, but they are unable to resist that temptation to attain their most fervent desires. We've all been there. They have many lives of atonement ahead of them, but they are on the upward arc and they're usually improving little by little in each life. This is good. Knowing this, understanding that we are all learning together and that some can't resist their primitive impulses, and this is vital, comprehending that we too have acted in a like manner or worse in remote past life, provides us with rationale to take pity and forgive all trespasses against us. Just as Jesus told us to ask for forgiveness for our wrongs, we too should forgive as God forgives us the wrong of others. In your new state of forgiveness also comes the knowledge that you don't need to be the vehicle of teaching anyone else the lessons they should learn. This is what's great about forgiveness. Total forgiveness. It doesn't mean, again, as I say, doesn't mean they shouldn't be in prison or you should report them to the police or whatever like that. Or you shouldn't cut them off, right? If someone's making your life miserable, you can forgive them, but it doesn't mean you have to interact with them again. And sometimes the best thing to do is cut them off and not interact with them again. But that you still can forgive them, not hate them. This is so important. The spirit realm will do this for you, knowing that whoever has caused you harm will themselves have to experience what they have done to you. The spirit realm takes care of this, everyone. You don't need to teach someone. You don't need revenge, because everything that you do is watched and recorded by the spirit realm. They will be given the lessons to correct those deficiencies, just as we will be given our lessons to correct our deficiencies. The form and manner may be different, but the event to fully expose the hurt they committed is inescapable. And you need to realize that their act, because either nothing or very little is left to chance against you, was done because of a past action on your part. Therefore, another reason to take pity on the poor soul committing an error that must be paid back, and put in your mind that you yourself would not do the same to anyone else. Be thankful the lesson was delivered. It could be as as something as minor as someone cheat you out of $500 or $1,000, or someone was mean to you and said bad things behind your back. Well, unfortunately, most probably, you had done something the same. Usually, the way the spirit world works is the lesson that they give you is a lot easier than what you've done before. Now, they may increase that lesson if you don't learn it, right? So, anyway, so that's something to think about, right? So if someone stole from you and then you go on and say, "Oh, if someone stole from me, I'm going to steal from somebody else," that is really this is going to make your next life. Okay, the lesson is going to be harder for you because evidently you don't learn easy on the easy road. You learn on the hard road, which I'm sure we've all done. And the same can be accomplished in relation to your material standing, right? As far as forgiveness and not needing to get that extra, revenge or anything like that. So think of that now in your material life. No matter how rich, how poor, how destitute, how envious you felt this moment, it can all disappear. God gave it to us. God can take it away. Your feelings of want are actually in your mind. You long for a thing, not because of the object itself, because of how you believe it will make you feel upon attainment. Spiritism, as I said before, tells us our life is on a predetermined path, a blueprint tailored for us to set the scene and for us to learn the lessons we require. Our state of wealth, the number of homes, cars, or lack of should be viewed as learning materials. They are merely objects around us to facilitate our classroom experience. In an elementary classroom, there are crayons, scissors, glue, paper, and I remember when I was very young eating that glue, books, and puzzles that serve to stimulate the young pupils to acquire the knowledge the teachers imparted to them. We are no different. We live, each one of us, I guarantee it, we live in a specific house or apartment, either with a mortgage or a certain rent for a specific reason. We have a new or beat up old car for a specific reason. We are in a career on an upward or downward path for a specific reason. It is all there to provide the surrounding scenery to enable us to accumulate new knowledge. Not facts and figures, but emotional wisdom. Events that are meant to shape our character and to transform our personality. Because what do you have when you discharge your physical body? You have only yourself, and that is all you require in the spirit world. Hence, take stock of what you have or don't have and be at rest. Most likely, you are exactly where you're meant to be at this precise moment. Be at peace with it. Wear your material circumstances like a comfortable robe. Feel the warmth of the love from your spirit guides and recognize the great favor that has and is being done for you. Now, so how do we attain serenity, right? So, this is what Joanna tells us again. With a serene conscience, this is what she says. With a serene conscience, one can face every situation with poise and never fall apart emotionally. Occurrences, people, and existential phenomena are seen on their true levels of importance and do not become a cause of distress, no matter how bad they seem. Serene individuals are content because they have overcome attachments and detachments, illusions and desires, maintaining harmony in any situation. Balance, they are not victims of extreme. They choose the middle path with firm, unwavering determination. That is what the attainment of serenity gives us. The peaks and valleys of life are always temporary. Avoid hubris and self-pity. She's telling us to merely acknowledge the circumstance and analyze what you should have absorbed from that valuable lesson. The Spirit Joanna Downs presents the gift of a serene conscience. As a human being at rest, at peace, at harmony with themselves, their surrounding, and their possessions. The certainty that God, Christ, and the band of spirits who watch over you have your personal growth in mind at all times should serve to anchor you against all storms. Bliss doesn't come easy. It comes with practice. I'm still not there. I let myself be buffeted by circumstances and by longings, but I have learned to try and calm myself, to think I should stay in the moment in which the past is gone and the future is in the hands of my teachers. All I can do is day in and day out is to follow my conscience and to try the best I can, realizing that the reason I am on earth is to do precisely what I'm doing now. My mission, which is the same for all of us on earth, is to remove my base and primitive characteristics and replace them with more noble aspirations. I realize I am a work in progress, and I am certain that one life will not erase my pride and selfishness. If I examine myself honestly, I have made progress in controlling my anger and envy. I forgive with much more ease, whereas before I would agonize until a great span of time made me forget the original slight that disturbed me so greatly. I no longer thirst for riches, I accept what comes my way. Although I find myself still wanting that 25% more to make myself comfortable. I haven't gotten rid of that yet. I always like, oh, if I could just get this. But it doesn't bother me like it used to, right? I don't lie awake at night worrying about changing my situation. I accept it while striving to better myself. So if rewards do come my way, they'll come at the right time and through my effort. Even beginning the pathway up the trail to a serene conscience has provided me with immense benefits, and I hope I am more pleasant to live with for my family and friends. And I sincerely desire everyone who's listening to me right now to join me in my quest. And I want to thank everyone. God bless everyone. And I want to tell everyone, look, please tell everybody about Kardec Radio, which is you can go to my site, nwspiritism.com. There's a picture of Allan Kardec, and there's that'll get you the Spiritism books, I should say. I went to that quick, but there's also links to Kardec Radio. You can load that. You can load that on your Apple or Android device to put in Kardec, again, Allan Kardec, Kardec Radio. And you'll find that it's a free app for your phone. You can listen to Kardec Radio 24 hours a day. These programs are all posted there. And then also tell everybody about the Kardec Radio Facebook page. Tell everybody about NW Spiritism. Please share that with people. And in NW Spiritism, again, you can click on Allan Kardec's picture, and it will take you to the EDI CEI bookstore, which has all the books in English from wonderful Spiritist authors. And of course, you can find the books by Allan Kardec also, and by Chico Xavier and Evian Pierre. You can find them on Amazon too, and a lot of them in Kindle also. But the books are actually less on the EDI CEI bookstore site than they are at Amazon. They probably sell them so they don't make a profit on them, or very little profit. So I want to thank everyone for coming here again. All this information is in my book, How to Live Inner Peace of Spiritism. Please tell people, share this broadcast on other Facebook pages. Tell people about the BitChute channel and YouTube channel. Come and watch our programs. I'm just putting this information out here, not to cajole you, not to warn you or anything mean, but just to present information for you so that you yourself can achieve inner peace, right? And then in the steps to do that, what we've said before is trust in God and yourself. Last Sunday and this Sunday is a serene conscience. So I want to thank everyone who's been in this program, and God bless all of you. Good night.